All right, so leaving Pam's house. It's Saturday. You know, got into a little argument. She was bending down. I'm at the pass, and I just kind of touched her hip to move her to the side, and she starts screaming at me, saying, "Don't touch me!" and you give me a headache and all this stuff. And she look, you know, this is something that they do, right? So see how the car had his blinkers on, his blinkers blinking, right? This is what they used to do when ever me and Pam get into an argument, and they know I'm leaving, because about 5 minutes after our argument, it started with the police sirens, woo, driving by on her block, because again, they listen to our conversation. And again, I keep saying this, but the fact that they, just because that they recruited her to, engage in this psychological warfare, psychological campaign against me, okay, it doesn't mean we get into an argument, which like I said, I keep saying this over and over again. The amount of things that she did, right? If I was a different person, yeah, I probably would have ended up in jail for assault, okay? But I'm not that person, right? And again, this is the false narrative that they try to put out there, right? And again, this is what they try to do, try to label you as being violent when you're not, because again, it suits their narrative, right? And they want to be the one to control the narrative. So every time we get into an argument, and when we're finished, they'll always send a police car by to do the sirens thing or what have you. So again, I confronted her tonight about the palm fixation drill which she's been doing, and she looked at me like, yeah, okay. And I said, yeah. I said, because every time you get into an argument, this is what you do. Immediately after we're finished arguing, you walk away and you will turn around and put your hand behind your back with your palm open up towards me, all the time. I said, I keep telling you, I look for patterns and things, right? So when I see patterns, I understand that it's not a coincidence and it's not something that's, that's accidental or anything like that, but in the fact that it's, it is perpetrated, right? It's done on purpose because you keep doing the same thing, and she's like, well, I think about stuff. I said, first of all, we're not family because family don't do this to each other. Even the family that I live with, who participated in targeting me, do I really consider them family? Not really. They're people I live with, but do I really consider them family? Like they said, blood is. They used to say blood is thicker than water, but that's not true, because sometimes your friends can respect you more and give you support more than your own family, right? Yeah. So she starts, targeting me tonight, and so I gotta head home. Fire trucks.
Please move away from the door.
All right. Okay, so you see, like I said, it never fails, right? Every time I get into argument with Pam, I leave her house. It starts first. There was a ambulance. I was on the bus, and one of those fire trucks. Okay. So I watch as I cross the street. The prep, take her phone out, look at it, put it back in her pocket. Again, the same thing. It's like I said, it's all the same thing. And so again, in my previous video, I talked about how we'll be microwaving the house, and so this is what happened. And now you see the FedEx truck up there. Okay. Again, and it's a pattern. It's a pattern. Trying to use the FedEx truck to obvious the feds, I just want you to see the synchronization of how these things go and how they use, symbols, signs, logos. It's all incorporated. Okay, it's all incorporated. These things are created with the intention. Just as Google, Facebook, right? We all know that before Facebook, the government was, particularly the CIA, was trying to have a document on every person in America. Not just their name, social security number and everything, but their social lifestyle and all. Okay, I did a show on this. You guys can Google this, right? CIA Facebook before Facebook. Yeah, you could probably do that and it'll show up. Right? So it talks about that. How they were creating, and that's why they had their hands on the creation of Facebook. And also Google. Right? So even on my Facebook, I don't post where I'm at every minute. If I'm in a restaurant, I don't post I'm at this restaurant and such. Because this is how they get you to basically build a profile of you. You're doing the work for them. Now, I may have pictures up on there, but that's nothing. But I'm not posting, where I've been, where I'm at. I use Facebook to educate, to teach, okay, to have meaningful conversation, right? To make connection with people who think alike, who understand, not just the plight of black people, but just the plight of oppressed people in general, and people who don't, who don't subscribe to religious-based indoctrination, right? So, that's the whole thing, okay? And so even tonight when I was leaving Pam's, this was like 11 o'clock, I see the super was out, the super for Billum was outside, and again, he was holding some balloons in his hands, some silver balloons in his hands, right? Because again, it has to do with, they're trying to make it seem like you're some type of competition, so I guess silver is second place, but again, that's what they do, right? Try to make it seem like you're in competition, or this is a test. Trying to make people understand that these types of psychological program conditioning, they're very real. They are very, very real. And, a lot of people participating out of religious belief. Some are getting paid. Not all of them are getting paid. But some are getting paid. And it's a shame when they have people who say they care about you and they love you participating in this. And they feel like they can get away with it because, again, the use of psychiatry as a tool to put it all on the victim, right? So they can always say it's all in your head, right? Or you turn around and do the same thing to them and they get upset, and you tell them it's all in their head, then they get upset, right? They get upset, okay? So just to let you know, see the hypocritical nature of it all, right? And this is what these people do. All right, so it's nothing new. Like I tell Pam tonight, I said, I told her many times before, I said, listen, if you want me to be here, doing all what I'm doing, cooking, cleaning, all this stuff, right? We have to, go forward as we're going forward together, like trying to. And which includes you going to see therapy. You're going to get therapy, seek therapy. And, she said to me, I don't need therapy, I'm fine. So I said, okay, well, this is not going anywhere. Right? So even though you try, but again, I limit my access and my ability to do things that I used to do before. But, it is what it is. I try to, not even target her back when she's talking to me. And sometimes, she's targeting me like, to the point where I do want to leave, but I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me just tolerate it, and then I'll leave the next day. So when you put yourself through that, you get to understand. Take it from me, so you won't have to go through it. Is that no matter what you do or what you say, no matter how good, respectful you are to these people that participate in this, they're never going to respect you enough to stop participating in it. They're never going to respect you enough or see you as a human being to stop what it is that they're doing. Okay? Because as TI, you can't compete with them getting a good paying job, okay, because of this program. You can't compete with them being placed in certain positions, right? Because they've agreed to participate in this psychological campaign against you. You can't compete in that. So we have to turn to ourselves as a community to support each other, right? To educate each other. And to do what needs to be done for each other, to help each other so that we don't fall into these sort of predicaments and the false notion that no matter if you don't target these people back, or if you don't talk about your targeting, that somehow is going to stop. When it doesn't, it gets worse and worse. And when you don't talk about it, what you are doing in what is called manufactured consent, because they are silencing you. So you are giving them consent to continue to harass you in the way, to experiment on you in such a way, okay? And I said, if they're going to experiment on me, they're not going to do it with my silence, okay? I'm going to speak out against it, okay? Because no matter what you do as a TI, no matter how nice, respectful you are, if you are targeted for experimentation, right, and they're running this psychological campaign against you, then there's nothing you can do to stop it, but you can bring awareness to it. You can bring a little relief, but the relief is only temporary. Understand that, right? The relief is only temporary, okay? So know this, like I said, the people around you who participate in this against you, they don't see you as a human being. They don't respect you. They don't love you, regardless of what they say. All right? And yes, the technology is part at fault. But if they don't show you support and they turn their back on you, right? Even when you're helping them out, right? Even when you're putting yourself at odds with them to help them out and still be respectful, still be kind, still be appreciative, and not target them back because you know how it feels. It makes no sense because they'll continue to target you. And no matter how many times I told Pam, I said, listen, I am not your enemy. Right? But what she was trying to turn me into, and I called her out on it, I said, you're trying to turn me into a house sitter. Someone who come here, watch the kids for you while you go do your errands. Someone you want to clean your house. You want to cook food. You want to do your laundry. Okay? And when I do the laundry and I just put the clothes in the laundry basket. Sometimes I don't fold them, I leave them. The clothes be in the laundry basket for over a month. Still there. Right? And so I got to come back now and then fold the laundry. So doing all of that, you would think that a person would say, you know what, Nigel, he's helping me out, he's doing all this, he's showing such and such, let me, put a little effort into not participating in this stuff. Let me put a little effort into trying to understand more of what he's going through instead of just taking the words of other people and participating in this. But like I said, you as a TI, you can't compete with a brand new job that pays them well, okay? You can't compete with them getting such special favors, such as whether it be assistance from the government somehow, whether it be payments, and I did a show on this too, about the FBI paid informants and how some of them, these paid informants within a few years become multi-billionaires. We can't compete with that. We have to understand that, I understand that, But again, sometimes you, just as with experimentation, you have to put yourself in the position where, you know, you're part of the experiment yourself.